In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA picks for Thursday, January 22nd. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our January 22nd NBA pick slate. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetSD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon as well. All right, now we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 10.3 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 20K, and we're well on the way because you guys are showing up each and every day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment so that helps the YouTube algorithm so you can go to a much broader audience. All right, now at the homepage of this YouTube channel here, still waiting on the finals to come through for the Wednesday slate. Early games so far have not come through. We're hoping that we can finish strong tonight with the Kings and with the Thunder as well. All right, but if you want full access to the Patreon, you got to click that link provided down below. You'll get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. In Kia Center here, we have the Orlando Magic 23-19 going against the Charlotte Hornets 16-28. For the current odds on this one here, Magic home favorites -250, Hornets with the comeback at a +200, total at 229.5, spread is at 6.5. For the public bet percentage here, 75% of the bets, 68% of the money on the side of Orlando. For the total here, 65% of the bets, 66% of the money on the over 229.5, and for the spread, 58% of the bets, 62% of the money towards Orlando to cover the 6.5 as well. All right, interesting spot here between these two teams. We have, this is an in-division matchup as well. So injury right now, as of right now, Charlotte Hornets are fine. Bunch of backups here. KJ Simpson really not much of a factor here, and then Mason Plumlee on the IR. Magic, Jalen Suggs is on the IR, and Colin Castleton is on the IR. These two teams have already played twice, and they split the first two matchups. First game in Charlotte went towards Orlando. Second game in Orlando went towards Charlotte. So they've been swapping here. Recent games, both have played decently. Obviously, Charlotte has been playing better basketball. They just lost against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were down the majority of their game, fought valiantly in that second half, and made it a closer game, only lost by 7. And then Orlando is coming back from the Germany and London games. There's going to be a first game at home, so we'll see how they're affected from coming back overseas. That could be a factor in this matchup as well. But both of these teams are definitely in the middle. They're very mediocre here. The positive news is that the Orlando Magic are getting healthier and healthier with Franz Wagner. Both Wagner brothers are back with Bane and Banchero. So very soon, this Orlando team is going to be really, really dangerous. The big question mark is this matchup here, the third matchup between these two. The first game went to 230 points, second one to 225 points. They priced it pretty right at the 229.5. If we're looking at the pace here, we have one of the slower paced teams in the Charlotte Hornets at 26th in the league. Very slow pace, but they have a really efficient offense. If we're looking at efficiency, they're the top 12 in efficiency. And then on the other end, with the Orlando Magic here, pace is going to be really slow. They're going to be bottom of the league right here. If you're looking, well, in the mid is 100, but they're more defensive minded. So they got it right at the number that's really tough, right in the middle. I was hoping for 225. I would lean towards an over 229.5. I'm questioning it here. It can go either way. With the Orlando Magic at home, I think it could be more defensive. I'm going to lean towards the under 229.5. Second game of a back-to-back. I'm usually on teams that lose on the front end of a back-to-back. They come back. A lot of people are just doubting them. Value is on the side of Charlotte Hornets. All right, I saw how they finished against the Cavaliers. If they didn't get a poor shooting performance from LaMelo Ball, they could have been in that game a little bit better, and I think they have a better rebounding matchup here in this one here. So give me the Charlotte Hornets plus 6.5 main play. In Xfinity Mobile Arena here, Philadelphia 76ers 23-19, Rockets 26-15. Looking at the current odds for this one here, Rockets are road favorites -140, comeback of the 76ers at a +115, total at 221.5, and spread at 2.5. Public bet percentage here, 70% of the bets, 69% of the money on Houston. For the total here, 84% of the bets and money towards 221.5, and for the spread here, 72% of the bets coming in on Houston, but only 50. It's pretty much a split on the money here between the Rockets and the 76ers with the spread at 2.5. So sharps are definitely split down the middle with these two teams here. Very talented, pretty even matchup if we were talking about both teams healthy. Both are contenders in the conference. When we're looking at this one, positive news for the 76ers, Joel Embiid will play in this game. The Q tag will be on Paul George. We're not sure if he's going to be able to go. And then for the Rockets, Steven Adams is not going to be playing. He is on the IR for this game. Rockets on the 3-game winning streak. 76ers have struggled in the last 5 games, only winning 2 out of the last 5, and coming off a loss against the Phoenix Suns. That was a game without Joel Embiid and without Paul George. Tyrese Maxey had a very poor shooting night, and that's the real reason why they lost in that game here. So if we're looking at the total, first of all, at that 221.5, the reason why, despite the fact that both teams are slow paced, all right. Houston really at 27th overall, and then for the 76ers, they're in the middle of the pack here at 18. But the reason why I like the over is that both teams are very efficient scoring so they're having an opportunity. Most likely they're going to score, right? So Houston 4th overall in offensive rating, and then 76ers are 16th. But we already seen that how good the 76ers team can be when the shot is falling, and I like the over 221.5. That's going to be our secondary play. The main play will be 76ers plus 2.5. I get it. Rockets have been red hot against the Eastern Conference. They are currently 11-1 against the Eastern Conference and undefeated on the road as well. So those are some numbers that might make you want to say, hey, we're taking the Rockets. I'm going to be leaning towards the 76ers at home and bounce back from that loss against the Suns. So 76ers plus 2.5 main play, over 221.5 as the secondary play. In Capital One Arena here, we have the Washington Wizards 10-32 going up against the Denver Nuggets 29-15. Current odds for this matchup here: Nuggets -225 on the money line, comeback of the Wizards at a +185, total at 231.5, and spread at 5.5. Public bet percentage: 83% of the bets, 73% of the money on Denver. For the total, 72% of the bets, 74% of the money towards the over 231, and for the spread, 69% of the bets for Denver, but 64% of the money on Washington to cover this number. Looking at this game here, we had to wait on news on Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray and Tim Hardaway. All 3 of these guys are day-to-day. We've seen in situations when all of those guys are not playing and they still win. Still a deep team here in the Denver Nuggets. But this opponent here in Washington Wizards are one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and a matchup you should exploit. And if we're looking at the last 5, this is a perfect spot for the Nuggets to bounce back off about the back-to-back losses. And then the Wizards are on a 7-game losing streak as of right now. So only way I can go in this one, give me the Nuggets -5.5 on the spread. And for the secondary play, I'll take the Denver Nuggets team total over. I think they can have a field day against this defense here. In American Airlines Arena here, we have the Dallas Mavericks 18-26, Golden State Warriors 25-20. Looking at the current odds, Warriors road favorites -175, comeback on the Mavs at a +145, total at 231.5, and spread at 4.5. Public bet percentage here: 62% of the bets, 56% of the money towards the Warriors on the money line. For the total, 76% of the bets and money towards the over. And for the spread, it's split down the middle on both sides. 50% on Golden State to cover, that's the bets, and then the money, 50% is on Dallas to cover at that +4.5. Looking at this one here, obviously horrible news about Jimmy Butler here for the Golden State Warriors. He's going to be out for the season with that knee. We're waiting on news about Gary Payton as well, so it kind of dims the hopes of they really had title. They thought they had title contentions with Jimmy Butler and cast the crew while he was healthy. All right. Obviously, you have a better chance if he can get hot. We've seen Jimmy Butler do crazy things in the playoffs. That's what you really wanted, but that definitely dampers things here for the Golden State Warriors, and for Steph Curry giving it a last effort here. We'll see what they're able to do, but back to the regular season here. They just are coming off a loss against Toronto, a blowout loss, 18 points, and they were just on a big winning streak here, beating Miami, Charlotte, New York, Portland. They looked really good before that devastating injury in that previous game. So this matchup here against Dallas, they already beaten them earlier this season by 10 points. And then Dallas, on the other end, red hot, beating Utah back-to-back games, and they were blowing out the Knicks by almost 30 points earlier in that game, and they still won by double digits. It makes you question that cover. I'm going to just have to go with the money line on this one. I think despite the fact of the Warriors, they're going to be adjusting here. Brandon Potts is going to have to step up. Kuminga is coming back in the fold here as well. So I like the Warriors to ultimately get the win, take advantage of the Dallas Mavericks without Anthony Davis. That's the real key there. So give me the Warriors on the money line, minus 175. If I had to go with a secondary play, I would go under 231.5. I think it'll be a low scoring game in this one between these two. In target center here, we have the Chicago Bulls 21-22 going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves 27-17. Home favorite here. Timberwolves minus 425. Comeback of the Bulls at a plus 320. Total is at 240 and spread at 9.5. Public bet percentage on this one. 80% of the bets coming in on Minnesota. 56% of the money coming on Minnesota as well. For the total, 67% of the bets, 73% of the money towards the over 240. And for the spread, 52% of the bets and 64% of the money on the side of Chicago to cover this number. Looking at these two here, pretty big spread. Understandable though, despite the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves are on a 3-game losing streak here on the road. This is a much needed spot here back at home, going up against the Bulls. Now we are waiting on confirmation if Josh Giddey is going to give it a go. Definitely we're waiting on him. He was supposed to, but yeah, he's supposed to come back last game. They held it off. So definitely wait on news about him. Solid game against the Bulls for the Clippers. The Clippers didn't have any Kawhi Leonard, and that's why they dominated that game there and got away with a 28-point win in that one. Very impressive to see. And then now you're looking at the money here, and it's a little bit of an overreaction how they're on the side of the Chicago Bulls. I think the Timberwolves have shown themselves as a very formidable team here. A little bit of a rough stretch. Obviously, you have back-to-back tough games, and then you got to go into Utah, and then you lose in that one as well. I'm still believing in the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I like them on a complete sweep here. So give me the Timberwolves minus 9.5 for the total here. If I had to go anyway, we saw them really put a beating on them in Chicago about 20 days ago, and they beat them by 35. All right, I don't think they beat them by 35 again, but I definitely like this matchup offensively for the Minnesota Timberwolves here. So I will go with the Timberwolves. I'll go with the over yet again, over 240.5, or just take the team total over for the Minnesota Timberwolves. In Delta Center here, Utah Jazz 15-29 going up against the San Antonio Spurs 30-14. For the Spurs, road favorites, big road favorites, minus 750. Comeback of the Jazz plus 525. Total at 238.5 and spread at 13.5. For the public bet percentage, 84% of the bets towards San Antonio, but we got 57% of the money on Utah. For the total, 62% of the bets and 63% of the money towards the over 238.5. And for the spread, 63% of the bets, 59% of the money on Utah to cover this number as well. All right. Looking at these two, we're waiting on injury news for the Utah Jazz, mainly Keontae George, Lauri Markkanen, and Bryson Sensabaugh. saying Markkanen is on IR, but definitely just wait for confirmation for all three of those players. Those are key components here, especially Keontae. He's the one that had a huge game against the Minnesota Timberwolves and had 40 points in that one. So far in this series right now, this is the end of the series. First game went towards Utah, shockingly. Second one went towards San Antonio, and they won by 13 points at home. Now we're back in Utah here. Very big question mark who's going to show up in this one. All right, Spurs coming off a loss, surprising loss against the Rockets here. They are 3 out of their last 5 with wins, but the 2 losses against the Thunder and the Rockets, right? And they just recently played the Utah Jazz as well. Looking at this spread, this is a really high spread. I do think that, and it puts you in a tough spot. You saw Utah make a big upset here. Now bettors are going to be back on their side to hopefully make it. Maybe they can do it back-to-back games. That would be awesome. I'm going to be on the side with San Antonio, but mainly just on their team total over. I think they can definitely put up enough points against this defense. This is one of the worst defenses in the league. When you're looking at Portland, looking at Utah Jazz and Washington Wizards, you want to take the full advantage of that. And my favorite play in this is San Antonio team total over in this game. Secondary play, I would go with the spread of the Spurs. But main play, just give me the team total over with the Spurs in this one. And what might be my favorite game on the slate, in Intuit Dome here, we have the LA Clippers 19-24 going up against the LA Lakers 26-16. Odds here, -120 for the Clippers as home favorites. Lakers are on the money line at +100. Very interesting to see. Earlier, it had the Lakers as favorites. Let me see here if we get confirmation on that. It might say that the Lakers are favored on ESPN. That's what I saw last. Yeah, it still says Lakers are favored. So right now, Yahoo is giving me the Clippers as favorites. So it might have turned over. Total at 224.5. Spread is at 1.5. So this is a pick'em game in this one, and I'll tell you why. But looking at the public bet percentage, this is a public underdog or public favorite or whatever you want to call it. It's public side all over the Lakers. 69% of the bets, 77% of the money on the Lakers. For the total, 76 and 77% on the over. And then for the spread, 71% of the bets, 77% of the money on the Lakers to cover the 1.5. The reason why that I'm going to be on the side of the Clippers is this one right here. Kawhi Leonard is back. He's upgraded to questionable. He's most likely going to play. All right, he just sat out. They already told you he was going to sit out the rest of the road trip. They're back in LA. And home for this spot here. As long as Kawhi Leonard is playing in this game, I'm going to be taking the Clippers on the money line. All right. Obviously, people are going to look at the blowout spot, and that's why it's all one-sided on the Lakers. But this is a very inconsistent team as well, taking advantage of Denver and coming through with a win over to Toronto. If we're looking back at their previous 10 games, it's been a pretty big shit show here between for the Lakers here. And so far they split the first 2 games. Obviously the Clippers were struggling at the beginning of the year, and things are turning around now as they're getting more healthier and Kawhi Leonard is playing at another level here. I like the Clippers on the money line, -120. That's going to be our main play and only play for this one. Last but not least, here in Motor Center, Portland Trail Blazers as home favorites, -125. Come back of the Heat at a +105. Total at 240. Spread at 1.5. Miami Heat are 23-21 for the record. Public bet percentage, 53% of the bets on Portland, but we have 63% of the money on Miami. So public and sharps are split. Total 61% of the bets, 66% of the money towards the over 240 in this game. And then for the spread, 53% of the bets, 59% of the money all over Miami to cover this +1.5. All right, now looking at this game here, we're waiting on news about Tyler Hero. He's questionable to play in this game, and Khalil Ware as well, one of their main rebounders. On the Portland side, we're waiting on news about Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant for the Portland Trail Blazers. Portland Trail Blazers are on fire right now, beating Atlanta, LA, and Sacramento. 3-game winning streak here in Miami. has been very up and down here in the last 5 games, and split the first 2 games on their road trip. These 2 teams have already played earlier in the year, and that was a high scoring environment, 267 points, and that went towards Miami. In Miami, this one's in Portland here. If we're looking at the pace, Miami is the number one pace in the league. And for the Portland Trailblazers, they should be towards, are they in the middle? No, the top half. The top 10 as well. That's why this was such a high scoring environment. Top 8 in the league, Portland, and then number 1 as well right there, Miami. For offensive rating here, we have Portland middle of the pack, and then Miami right below them at 20th. Let me see the defensive rating here. Miami's usually a good defensive team, so that was shocking to see here. Such a solid defensive team here in Miami allow that many points. But it's the pace that they're running now that has changed for Miami, where they can have these high scoring games. And we saw it against Sacramento, where they scored 130. That was 247 points in that game. So it depends on the matchup. And I think we get another one here. I like the over 240.5. I think we get definitely a back and forth barn burner here between these 2 teams. But I'm going to be on the side of revenge and the Portland Trailblazers. I think they even this series and take the win here at home. So Trailblazers on the money line. That's going to be our main play there, and the secondary play will be over 240. That's going to be our breakdown for the slate we got going on Thursday. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We could definitely debate about that. Also, if you want access to that Patreon, you click on that link provided down below. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes up 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.